Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Parenting Tools podcast. My name is Jordan.
And my name is Jason, and this is the podcast where myself and Jordan talk about our lives as dads.
Pop shield earning its money there.
There we go. We'll get messages about that one.
We've had that before, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, weird.
Keep them coming.
Feed the algorithm. So, Jace, before we dive into opening questions, something terrible happened. Well, I say terrible. I'm not making it like... It actually was quite bad.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, my wife's email got hacked.
Listen, everyone's getting hacked.
So
everyone's getting hacked.
It was quite...
Skynet.
Quite bad. Hey, we talked about big things that happened. We didn't talk about that global IT outage.
How fun was that?
Yeah, it didn't affect me.
No, either.
So, although a lad at work pretended it did and just said,
That's hilarious.
So my wife's email address got hacked. People like, I think it was Bolivia was probably a VPN was saying where they were.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. She was getting really stressed. And I was like, look, just reset your passwords. Facebook's been hacked, so Facebook have taken that down without her knowing, so now she has no Facebook, which she's fine with because she doesn't use it, but she's got photos and albums on there from like uni and school and stuff, so they're all gone and she's probably not going to get them back.
Yeah.
But we were like, right, let's just sit down and we watched half a film on Netflix, so let's finish the film we were doing last night. Log on to Netflix and it's asked us to sign in. That's weird. So we go to sign in and it says register for Netflix. We're like, why are we, what? We've got an account. And then we're like, oh, has this been hacked as well? So we sign in, reset the password, sign in. It's all in Spanish.
No. Oh no.
So we're trying to get, and I'm like, oh,
it's like reset your account.
Yeah, so
you've lost all your places,
all the profiles, all the the things that we like, the
carefully curated feed,
and it was so annoying. It like, this is proper first world problems.
Honestly,
our streaming service got hacked, and it was the worst thing that happened to me that day.
I genuinely have a top tool here.
Oh, go on,
top tool.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's new.
It's been a while. Dear me,
it's not the new year, but if it was,
off the boil.
So I've been hacked several times.
Why you sound proud of that?
I'm not. It's becoming so common. And as much as everyone tells you need a different password for everything, you really do need a different password for everything. Because if it's not like...
A bit worrying for me.
Yeah. There you go. Here's your chance to change it. It's not like they hack into your specific account. The most likely thing to have happened is that they've got access to a website where the security is bad.
Yeah,
it's not a big website. It's usually a forum or something you signed up to, or just a rubbish company. Sometimes it's big, like Netflix. But if you use the same password for everything, they've now got your password for everything.
Yeah.
So even if it's as stupid as changing the number at the end, do it, because
you can't just copy and paste.
All they literally do is put all of your details into a program, and it just runs through websites that they know and tests them, see if it works.
Yeah.
There's a website called Have I Been Pwned?
Whoa. As in pwned, like PWNED?
Exactly like that.
Wow.
And you can type in
that in so long.
You type in your email address. I'm going to do it live. This is not sponsored, by the way. This is genuinely just really helpful.
It's just a top tool.
And it basically checks all of the known data leaks and hacking leaks to see how many times that you appear into it. So I've just typed in my normal email address, the one that I use most. 17 data breaches.
Brilliant.
So, and it shows me the websites where they've been breached from.
Gosh.
But it shows you the date that they got hacked, and I can look in my spam folder, and I've got new emails from fake companies.
Yep.
So every time I get a fresh batch of spam, I'm like, oh, I've been hacked again somewhere.
Yeah.
But generally, that's just a top tool, and
lovely
change
top tool.
Your passwords.
Yep. And if you want to sponsor us, haveibeenpwned.com.
Yeah, they're sponsored by a password manager that I use.
Whoa.
There you go.
There we go. We're joining the dots. So yeah, that was... It's one of those things, and I'm not trying to draw tedious links to parenting, but do you know when this was a Friday evening, do you know when you get to the end of the week and it's
in veg mode,
and you're just right, let's sit down, let's have our time together, and then it's well, actually, what's happened to our Netflix.
Yeah.
And when there's bank accounts tied to it, and there's just a level of stress you don't need when, especially for us, like we try and keep Friday evenings for the two of us. While we were dealing with that, our son got out of bed, walked downstairs.
Inconsiderate.
And he's like, "What are you doing?" Because I'm on the phone to this woman. Like,
oh no!
From the Netflix helpline was so helpful.
Amazing.
And he said, "What are you doing?" And Leanne said, "Oh, someone's taken our Netflix." And he went, "That's not very nice."
Oh.
He said, "Well, I think you should tell them off. I think you should tell them that's not nice."
Should.
We were like, "Yeah, it's not nice, is it? Go to bed."
Oh, bless him.
And do you know the kids' profile said niños? It's like we've got to deal with this now.
It's such
I don't want to
a
deal with this
pain.
now. But yeah, there's worse things to have to deal with.
There are worse things, but it is just like not what you want.
You don't need it.
No.
You don't need it. So let's get into opening questions. We've had a message from Josie. This came in on Instagram. It says, "Hi guys, currently a few episodes behind on the podcast."
Come on, chop chop.
You should have caught up by now.
Let's say we've been away.
We've had a little time off.
No excuses now.
But my 18-month-old is trying to drop his nap and I'm still desperate for that time in the day. Driving around until he falls asleep, listening to the episodes. When did your two decide they had enough of daytime sleep? Also, why do they sleep so much better at nursery? He does 2.5 hours on a mat on the floor, but his palace blackout blinds and white noise is not good enough. It's so true. It's like the food thing. They eat so well at nursery, but not at home. Why do they sleep so well?
Literally in a light room with a mat on the floor, with just kids everywhere. Just
you get it on the app, like just woken up from an hour 45 nap. You're like, you having a laugh?
when this is a touchy subject for me. Not very happy about this conversation.
Oh, go on.
When did Luca drop his lunchtime midday nap?
Around the age my daughter is now.
Yeah.
And she is getting there.
Oh, well, I can tell you when Luca dropped his nap. Because Noah dropped her nap at the same time. She's a year younger than Luca.
Oh, you had one
And I was
year
livid.
less.
I was livid.
Wow. We hung on to it for a little while.
It was good timing. Like, it was the average timing. I remember I was actually livid. I did loads of reading about it. I was like, Noah, why are you not sleeping?
You're bang on.
Yeah. Yeah, she just dropped it too early. She's just too excited about being awake.
Yeah.
I'm just too much of a good dad that she needs to be awake for. No, she just hates sleep.
No, we hung on to the nap because having a newborn at the time, that time in the day was really helpful.
It is. Like, again, it's one of those, you don't realise how much you miss it until it's gone. Like, especially if you're just on child duty, you actually get 2 hours to either clean up, sit on your phone, whatever it is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you lose it.
We're in that stage now where
And it's not coming back.
she's nearly 3 and she's you have some days where she doesn't nap, which is fine because it is typically, she will then go down in the evening a little bit earlier. But tonight, she didn't have a nap today, and tonight was just like where's my baby? Where's my lovely baby gone? It's like, who are you? Just absolutely like screaming over me telling her to brush her teeth. Just didn't want to brush her teeth.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just
Stick it to the man.
so. Yeah, we've got that coming, I think. But now we've not got a baby. It's not that much. It's not as important for her to have that.
Yeah. It's really weird because Noah never really slept well anyway. So it was not like I have an experience of having that and having good sleep at night. We've always had terrible sleep until now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the best sleep we are getting.
So you said you had a week of full sleep. Has that happened since?
Kind of. So she's no longer coming into our bedroom, which is huge.
Yeah.
Like, she'll come and use the toilet.
Yep.
And for some reason, she likes to use the toilet in our bedroom.
Nice.
Rather than the one right next to her bedroom. And then to put herself back to sleep, which is lovely. For the last few nights, and this is our fault, we had a guest stay over, and so we had a double mattress in Noah's room. So and I just
Double mattress.
a mattress, and I just haven't been bothered to move it.
Yeah.
So it's still in her room. So she's sleeping on that. She loves it. But now, when she wakes up at like 3, she wants one of us to come and share them, which isn't too bad.
Yeah.
There's only 2. Like before, she was trying to come into our bed. There was nowhere else for us to sleep. But we're generally getting much better sleep.
Oh, that's good.
Feels amazing.
Yeah. It's warm as well to be bed sharing, isn't
So hot.
it? Dear
Although
me.
Noah has a better fan.
Just like, you're so sticky.
Yeah.
Move.
I hate being too hot at night.
It's that thing of like what defines a baby or a child sleeping through the night?
Yeah.
Because remember when you spoke to Alistair Bryce Clegg from my first 5 years, he said no child sleeps through the night. We had loads of comments from people going, mine does.
Yeah.
And then people going, well, actually, are they sleeping through or are they just settling themselves?
That's fine. Yeah. So that's what I would class
when
as
they wake.
sleeping through the night.
Yeah.
Being able to settle themselves.
When
and then
I sleep through the night.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I think it was, I can't remember who else we spoke to, but like 5:30 or something was considered like, if they've slept till then great. And like, obviously, it all changes depending on ages, but
Yeah.
now it's based on how well I've slept.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, like sleep training isn't getting your child to sleep through. It's
No.
getting them to settle themselves.
Yeah, like
so they can-
self-soothe.
So if they wake up in the night, they can go back to sleep without you,
Yeah.
which makes complete sense.
Or, this is a really weird thing that I found out. Again, one of the things that we've missed on our break.
Yep.
Discovered that Wayne Rooney needs a hairdryer next to his face on to sleep.
Is that horse's mouth?
Yeah, like literally he out of his mouth.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
Just because he's weird.
Working with Alex Ferguson. For
He's
so long.
tried. So he's tried
He's
fans.
used to it.
He's tried white noise. He just likes the hairdryer on cool, like next, pointing at his
What a
face.
Fire hazard.
He's burnt out several hairdryers.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't. No.
weird, right?
And so he just turns it on, lays it on the pillow next to his face.
Just puts it. I don't know the logistics, but he says he has it like a couple of inches from his face.
I've got a really dry mouth.
That's all I could think.
Yes, the chapped lip.
It's like we've got the fan on at the moment. I'm waking up with like a dry throat,
Yeah,
and
like
it
the Carmex is working overtime.
is like
Yeah,
it's difficult.
just like you're scraping that little layer of
Well,
off your lips in the morning. Yeah, it's just
it takes me a while to enjoy my breakfast because it's so painful.
Oh my goodness.
Yep, hairdryer straight in the face.
I am so intrigued by it. Like, I'm not just saying this. I really want to speak to him about this and just be like, how does it work?
Like, how are you propping up? Are you putting on a stand? Because surely you need to put.
What if you roll over?
Yeah. What if you get tangled in the wire?
It's dangerous. dear me. And we've had another opening question from Ma, long time listener,
Yeah.
long time contributor, Ma. Potentially controversial.
Ooh.
Ma has opened himself up here. He said, "Women say labour." This is a listener.
Oh, starting
internet.
off.
This is a listener that said this, not me.
Yeah.
Women say labour is the most painful thing, but they want it again. Men say being kicked in the balls is worse, but don't want it to happen again. Who is right? After you.
Right. So,
Thank you, Ma.
is the argument that the pain is worse or the overall experience? Because something good comes out of one of these things.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
Doesn't mean that it's less painful. It just means that what you get at the end is worth the pain.
Is more rewarding.
Yeah. Whereas nothing good comes out of
No.
the latter.
Like if you said to me to have your second child, you need to take a solid kicks to the plums. I'd say, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. I think,
Yeah. Let me do it in a bathtub.
yeah, with gas and air.
Yeah.
Yeah. The painkillers would be helpful, but
An
I mean, having watched my wife give birth twice,
Yeah.
it is incredible what like the female body is capable of doing. I've said this before, like obviously I respected my wife before we had, but like my respect levels for her, for all mothers, just like, oh my word, it's it's a huge ordeal.
Yeah.
And you know, it's one that I'm glad I don't have to go through. But do I want to take a kick to the you know,
To the nads.
the Royals?
Would
No.
Would it not be a continuous kick? Sometimes up to 12 hours.
Would it be waves?
I don't know.
The other thing is pregnancy is not comfortable.
No.
You know, if a kick to the area is just like done.
So, yeah. So
if there's 9 months of build up to
so
it.
for 9 months, it's just becoming more and more uncomfortable.
Mm,
Yeah. You can't sleep on your back.
yeah. We've had a 30-degree day today. And any women 9 months pregnant, I just good on you. Like, good for you. Dear me,
Yeah. I'm not with Mar on this one.
I mean, do I want to take a kick to the groin again? No, never. It is the worst pain.
Yeah. It is sharp.
How would you describe it to a female?
Gut wrenching.
It's just
So that's the most accurate description.
yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's a heavy in the stomach as well. Kind of moves up.
Yeah, but you feel it everywhere.
It's bad.
Oh.
And then every now and again you take like a little hit and you think I might have got away with this. And then the pain kicks in. You're like, nope. It's like a little calm before the storm.
I think we've been so inarticulate there. I think that helps to describe the pain.
Yeah, it's bad. It hurts a lot,
Ugh.
but it's over relatively quickly
Compared to pregnancy, yeah.
compared to labour,
Yeah.
which can be days.
Yeah. It could be weeks.
But yeah, active labour.
Or like even like, not to be too graphic, but like it tears sometimes.
Yeah,
If you got kicked so hard that your groin teared,
oh,
this is a bit too
I'll
much
tell
for
you
me.
what, give me the willies. Just,
I think, Ma,
yeah. Thanks for the question, Ma.
we're venturing off into territory I'm not comfortable in.
Yeah, I'd rather not. So let's move on to funny things your kids have said this week. I've got one from my daughter, who this week has been trying out jokes,
Lovely.
which are always like, "Why did the elephant cross the road?"
Yeah. Classic.
That sort of thing. She's, experimenting with jokes. I'm all for it. We had a sleepover with our kids. I think it was the first day after school split, and they were talking about, can we come in your bed? There's no school tomorrow. Can we do this? Can we do that? So I just went and got my son's double mattress and put it on the floor in our room.
Nice.
And their eyes lit up. They were like, we're having a sleepover. Anyway, they just wouldn't go to sleep. And it was getting really late. I was flagging. Leanne was flagging. And do you know when they just go quiet and their breathing changes? You think, cracked it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right, let's go to sleep now. I just heard, Mummy, why did Cat cross road? And so we're both giggling. She goes, got poo on his head. Like, doesn't even make sense. She's proper in the poo-poo phase, and it's so annoying.
I think it's brilliant.
It's like it's one of those where it's annoying because you like just use other words, like be clever, but also there's sometimes where it is funny.
I think
And
it's
you just
so
can't
funny.
laugh. You can't show them it's funny.
So my nephew's in that phase.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's just your way out of everything.
Mm.
And for some reason, what's just so funny at the moment is he'll be like, look up there. And you'll look up and he'll go, poop on your head. So funny.
Have I been pwned, .co.uk? Because I have now.
There was just poo waiting for me. I love it.
Yeah. I'm not, no. I think because we've had two, like, back-to-back sort of toddlers, it feels like the poo and wee phase is quite extended. And we've got a young nephew as well.
That's all you've experienced for the last 6 years.
We've got a young nephew as well who's like in that phase, and it's like little things like you leave the door, like you go out of the house for work, you go, love you kiddos. She goes, love you poo. And you're like, dear me,
That's brilliant.
Just leave it out.
I don't think Noah didn't really go through that phase.
Oh, you did well.
That's why I'm missing out.
That's why you think it's funny.
Yeah.
Because you've not had to endure it.
Yeah.
You've not gone through it. You've not been in the trenches.
No.
In the poo-poo trenches.
So this is not necessarily something that my daughter said this week, but just
implied.
No, it was just funny, and it was so we're using the glow clock still.
Yeah,
so
nice.
That's a regular returner every night. Yeah, set for 6:45 for it to go yellow.
Nice.
And this morning she came in at 6:30. She went, "Daddy, my clock's yellow." I went, "Oh, is it? Is it morning?" And she went, "Yeah." I had to press it though.
It didn't go yellow. I made it yellow.
So it's not morning yet, is it? She's like, "No, but my clock's yellow." And it's like, our rule is the clock has to be yellow.
Yeah. Ours is.
And like very particularly, like the rule is that it has to be yellow, not that it has to be 6:45.
Yeah.
So she got around it on a technicality.
On a technicality.
Yeah.
And she didn't lie.
No.
I love that.
Yeah.
When you can get around it without...
Yeah.
Have I ever told you about how my dad told me to give the truth you want?
No.
So we had mice in our house, like when I was a teenager. Our neighbours had dug up their garden and it disturbed a load of mice and they came into our loft. My mum is petrified of rodents, mice, rats, even I think squirrels, but like mice and rats, she just can't look at them. And we had these mice and my dad said to me, he said, when you change the trap, if you go, because I was loving life, felt like Steve Irwin, changing dead mice traps. And he said, when you go, he said, if you find a mouse, he says, get rid of it. He says, set the trap. He says, and the last thing you do, look at the trap. And so if your mum comes home from work and says, has there been any mice today? You say, last time I looked, there was nothing there. He says, so she because she was like losing sleep, because you can hear the scratching, can't you?
Yeah.
And anytime she heard a noise, she was freaking out. So he was like, good intentions, like trying to calm her down. And I just remember thinking, you're a genius. So I'm there like setting the trap and like... She never asked. But I always remember thinking like, that's really good.
That's genius.
You're not lying.
Yeah.
But you're giving the truth you want.
Didn't teach my daughter that, but somehow she found it.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's so good.
Yeah.
You didn't tell her. You just said when it's yellow.
Yeah. Loopholes.
I remember setting it and being like, trying to hide it for a long time so he couldn't see. And I'd be like, oh, it's just gone yellow. So he didn't know, but he knows.
I might get her to look at my tax return, find those loopholes.
Yeah, hey, that'd be good. Oh. There's always one. There's always one to go through. And I had a scathing, you know when kids just say it as it is?
Yeah.
I was giving my lad a little cuddle before bed. I had my arm around him and he had his arm on my tummy. He just tapped it. And he went, Daddy. I thought, here we go. Why is your belly so fat? And I said, there's a lot of food in there. If you're watching on YouTube and you can see my wrist, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the skinny wrists. So we are starting a diet on Monday.
Yeah, I've been meaning to start a diet for a long time. Yeah, I have that frequently in the morning when Noah comes to wake me up because I do the mornings. That's still the routine.
Yep.
She came for a cuddle. It was lovely. Daddy, you need to brush your teeth. I've just woken up. Yeah, but it's self-conscious now.
Morning breath is a thing.
Yeah.
So I've got a question for you, potentially serious question. If you're a new listener, we do like to have a deep bit every now and again. My question to you is...
I am flagging.
It is late. My question to you is parenting hard?
No.
No.
Yes.
Which one?
Both.
Go on, expand.
I think it is sometimes subjectively really difficult to be the best parent that you want to be. Because so often you're just fighting yourself and just it's effort.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's effort. It's not a lot of effort, but it's consistent effort. And it's not like work. We can work for 8 hours. It's all the time, constant. And it's like to be the best, and you're working against yourself. Like absolutely, your kids' futures are at stake, but you know when you let the gas off. And I think that's why it's. I think that's why it's sometimes difficult. But on the other side, I absolutely love it. It's not hard for me to know what to do in that sense.
Yeah.
I know what I should do. Whether or not I want to do it is different. But
Well, you got the energy to.
yeah, so it's not often complex. It's just graft.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think there are times where it's challenging.
Yeah.
I think being a father to my kids and like loving my kids is the easiest thing I've ever done. Like it's incredible. I think there are definitely like times where it's challenging. I think for me it's discipline. I think that's the thing I find the hardest is when you have to discipline them and you have to be like serious. And you know it's for their like long-term benefit. If you just kept letting them get away with everything and you didn't discipline them, you're setting them up for failure really in the future. They're not going to be the best people they can be and probably the people that they want to be. But when I see something, I'm like, I have to deal with this now. I think that's where I find it hard. I think that's the bits that I find tricky. Because I'm not very good at being serious. So yeah, I find that hard. And then it's that thing of, did I do too much? Was I too harsh?
Yeah.
Obviously when you're shattered and you're running on, some days like 2 hours sleep, especially when they're newborns, like, yeah, everything else is hard. And I think that's something that I found quite stark. Like I knew becoming a dad would be like physically tiring because of the sleep. I knew that you'd be changing nappies, you get messy.
In isolation, those things are easy.
That's easy.
In isolation.
What I didn't expect was how hard doing a full day of work would be.
Yeah.
In that state.
Yeah.
What I didn't expect would be like seeing my mates, and being an adult, and when you have kids, you don't see your friends often because your schedules don't align. And then like when you see them and you're just like, like you're not getting the best of me right now. I think this week we've had my nephew stay over because it's the summer holidays and we were helping my sister out with childcare. We had some friends stay over last night. Then we had a disrupted night of sleep. And I don't think me and my wife had like a proper conversation like for 3 days. Like we've been around each other and talking, like we're not neglecting our marriage, but just like a proper like chat.
Yeah.
That hasn't been interrupted by, can you open this for me? Or can you do this? Or she's done this, or he hit me. And it's like, it's all that sort of stuff. I think, to answer my own question, I think life becomes trickier when you have kids because you put so much into them because you want to.
Yeah. It's definitely...
That's what my experience was.
From my experience, it's definitely harder than it looks. There are aspects of it because of the way that you live with your kids. It's easier.
Yep.
But it is definitely very different to how it seems before you have kids. Yeah. I think, quite honestly, the hardest thing about parenting that I've experienced is watching my daughter go through pain. And like whether that's illness or even a new thing that we go through, like social situations that she finds uncomfortable. Like I just want to fix it.
Yeah.
I just want to fix all of it. And like, we've had some pretty dark moments of like seeing her go through pain and like, there is nothing that we could do. And that is really tough. And it's that thing where you're like, you're bargaining. You're like, if I could take the pain, I completely would. And it is, what's difficult about that, it's not just the complexity of watching your child go through pain. It's processing all of that afterwards.
Yeah.
Because it affects everything. Like it affects how you parent. It affects a lot of your attitude. Some of it is like, conversely, some of it is positive because you appreciate a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But like me and Em have got loads of hang-ups from our experience with Noah, and like we watched her almost die a few times, and like that does a lot to you, like internally.
Absolutely.
That has been really hard, and I think to the point of, for a while, you go hypersensitive to like, and on the back of that, we went hypersensitive because that was the right thing to do. Because when it happened again, it was really serious. We're out of that kind of stage of life at the moment, which is great. But yeah, even like the social anxieties, anything that you can see them go through, which is difficult, I just want to fix it. And like, you can't, but also you shouldn't, so they can learn. But I don't like that part. Yeah, that's a bit rubbish.
And that changes as well. Like the things that you find tricky and the struggles, they change as they get older, and the different things. So like, my son is nearly 5, and he's a proper lad's lad. Like, he's a proper boy, just runs everywhere. Like, running fast is the most important thing in his life.
That's so good.
I remember working in Next when I was a student, and like, you'd have little, not to gender stereotype, but you have little girls that come in and like their parents would pick shoes for them, and they're like looking in the mirror and they're looking at them and they're like, yeah, they're really pretty. The boys would just see how fast they could run in their shoes, and that's how they pick trainers. Like, yeah, these are really fast. So, well, what do you think of the look of them? Well, they're fast. And my son is like that. And like, he's always been I'm good at football, aren't I, Daddy? Like, he'll score a goal. I'm good at football, aren't I? And the other day he just went to me, I'm not very good at football. I said, well, what makes you say that? He said, I'm not good in goal. I'm not a good player. He said, I'm just not very good. He said, I'm rubbish. And I said, and my thing is, who's told you that? Yeah. And I said, like, on the pod, like, he started football and he wasn't great. But the part of that is because he's an August baby. He's younger than loads of people. Like, he's smaller. He can't get the ball as hard. And I was thinking, who's told you? Who's told you, Robert? And that was such a different, like, my heart just sank to hear him be like, I'm not good at this.
Yeah. It's because you want them to realise how you see them.
Exactly.
And it's like, and it's the same with us though, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
if our loved ones, if we could just get rid of all of our inhibitions of our self-consciousness, we'd be much better. Yeah. But it's like, I want you to realise how great you are. And all of that is just stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah. Like, what people think doesn't matter. Yeah. But,
and I started to pull the thread and said, what makes you say that? And he's got a mate in his class who's an incredible footballer. Like, he's gone up a year. They took him out of the team because he was too good, and he's with the older kids. And he said, well, I'm not as good as him. I said, well, he's so good. And I don't want to be like, well, you're better than, like, I don't want to sugarcoat it or say it. It's like, look, because I play guitar. I said, do you think I'm a good guitar player? He said, yeah. And I've got a friend called Mike, who's an incredible guitarist. I said, do you know Mike at church? He said, yeah. I said, I am nowhere near as good as him, and I never will be. I says, but am I still good? He went, yeah. I said, just because you're not as good as him doesn't mean you're not good. He was like, oh, okay.
That's a great parenting moment there.
And it felt good, and then you feel like you're hitting home. He went, but I didn't score any goals today. I said, how many shots did you have? He said, none. I said, well, there you go. I said, but how many times? We were playing with this kid who was like 8. I said, how many times did you tackle him? He was like, loads. I said, there you go. You went, but I didn't score any goals. And I'm like, okay, so in your head, scoring goals makes you a good footballer. Not the fact that, you can tackle a guy that's double the size of you. Like, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty cool. And I was saying that to him. But yeah, to hear him go, I'm rubbish, was just like,
yeah,
that was tricky.
It's so tough. And like the question, is parenting hard? Like, it would be easier if I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's just a normal statement. Like, it would be easier. So yeah, there is an element of...
It's like saying it's driving hard. And you're like, well, if I didn't have a car, it would be easy.
If I didn't have a child dictating my schedule, yeah, life would be a lot more free-flowing. Mm. But it's that question of, you wouldn't choose the other way. And even when you do feel like you want to, it's like that's when it's really hard. And it's like it's more just stuff going on with yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so is parenting hard? I don't feel like it's hard in the same way as a lot of things are difficult. It's just...
I always say at times it can feel hard. That's how I always word it. It can, like, and then a 4 night sleep can solve your problem. Or teething comes and goes, and it's like, well, actually, that seemed hard at the time. It seemed hard when you were in it, but actually it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
Or, whatever, the Calpol kicks in, and you're like, oh, okay, the problem. So yeah, like there are times where it can feel like this is tricky. And don't get me wrong, we're talking about this as dads, as fellas, not mums, because maternity leave and all that sort of stuff is a different kettle of fish. And I see some things online where women are really struggling and it is hard. But again, it's seasonal, and that season will come and go. Yeah. But when you're in it, I imagine it's tricky if you're struggling. Yeah,
there's definitely moments that are hard. And I think even like when it comes to the like maternity and like paternity side of things, like our experience was very alien to most people's. By the time Noah actually came home, Em was really unwell as well. So I was looking after Noah all the time, apart from feeding. It's like I was the main carer. That was hard for a whole different set of reasons. Not because parenting was the defining factor.
Life was hard.
Yeah, life was hard. And I think that's probably the same now. Like I absolutely like adore time with my daughter. And like sometimes it's hard because I'm lazy. That's why it's hard.
I wasn't agreeing with you. That was just
even if you were, it's true. Like I don't want to go down the slide 50 times. Like we've just been on the swing. Now we're back at the slide. I don't want to go back on the swing. Like make up your mind. That's not hard. I'm just like lazy and have the attention span of a goldfish. But you know what I mean? It's like that's the day-to-day struggles. But yeah, you're right. I think sometimes it can be hard. But yeah, most of the time it's great.
I would say on last week's episode, I was trying to say about like energy levels and how I don't have energy, but I do have it. And I've completely butchered it. And I listened back and thought that was rubbish. I think what I was trying to say, and I've seen a reel about this, which I thought, yeah, that is what I was trying to say. This girl was just like, I don't know about you, but like my kids give me energy. Like they energize me. I see them and I'm so like energized by them. But equally, I'm shattered. And I think that sometimes I get home from work on a Tuesday. It's my only day in. And I'm just like spent. I'm absolutely done. And like it's sometimes a little trudge to the front door. And then the kids are like, Daddy's here. And all of a sudden I'm like, yes. And like, I'm not suddenly not tired.
Yeah.
But like they energize you, but also tire you out so much. Because they wake up at 5 o'clock or when it's warm. They're like, I'm so warm.
Yeah.
And then they kick their covers off and they're like, I'm cold. And it's like, I'm shattered. But also, you're the best thing I've ever laid eyes on.
I heard a quote this week. It's really, I was listening to like a weird film podcast.
Oh, beautiful.
Probably nerdy. Love it. And they said a quote which I really loved. It kind of relates to this. It was talking about like burnout and overworking. And like it kind of relates to this in terms of parenting. They were saying, like people don't burn out because you work too much. Like you can work like 80 hours a week at something you love and feel so energized.
I've seen something like this on LinkedIn.
It's not like working a lot. It's working a lot without like drive or passion or vision or any of those things. And that's the same when it comes to kids. Like I am tired, but because it's for them, it's like we can power through.
Yeah.
Whereas when there is none of that, that's just like really difficult. But yeah, I can't remember what the quote was, but
the point was made very
there
well,
we go.
I will say.
Top tool was on a top tool.
Yeah, it was just top something.
Top wisdom.
Top Cat. Do you remember Top Cat?
Top Cat.
Yeah.
Don't want to get copyright striked.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're so accurate to the
Yeah, that was bang on.
In key.
The bots are like, hang on a second. Is that the Top Cat theme tune I can hear playing?
From the early 2000s? I think they've changed it.
Earlier than that.
Yeah, but they kept it the same, didn't they, for a long time? It's like Scooby-Doo.
Is that still the same?
No, it's very different now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a far cry from what it was.
They've ruined Dennis.
Lost their way.
They've ruined Dennis the Menace.
Have they?
Yeah. Yeah. And also Thomas the Tank Engine. That the original theme tune.
I was never really that.
Belter, mate.
Can't remember it.
Even now.
Oh yeah, of course. They changed it.
Yeah, it's naff.
Got to change with the times.
And Ringo Starr was Thomas. Hello, George. Anyway, is parenting hard? Yes, no, maybe is the answer.
Are we shells of our former selves?
Yeah.
Maybe.
But are we
Happy about
like,
it?
Are we like hermit crabs, where we get a new shell?
Or just happy you're inside the shell?
Yeah, leave me alone.
Thank you so much for listening.
If you want to get in touch with us, please do at Parenting Tools Pod on Instagram and TikTok. It'd be great to hear from you. And don't forget to leave us a review and a rating wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple, or if you're watching on YouTube, stick up a thumb.
Lovely. I was confused.
See you soon.